Congratulations! You are at the right place at the right time to start your day with a lightning bolt of energy. Most news programming, morning talk shows, or other podcasts are not launching you into your day or accessing even a fraction of your greatness and potential. If you want more money in less time with more magic, and if you want to find what works to scale your sales and business with the actionable formula of formulas, then the Unblinded Huddle is the #1 way to start your day with an infusion of integrity-based human influence. With your host, Sean Callagy and the Unblinded team, and the entire Unblinded movement.
Hello and great rising Unblinded ecosystem, and welcome to the #1 place to start your day with a daily dose of integrity-based human influence, and welcome to Why Wednesday. So last week we posed a question which created a lot of thought, and I'd like to start Why Wednesday with the exact same question. Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? And to all our new members, welcome. To everyone who has been here, thank you for coming back. And Mr. Callagy, what say you today on this Why Wednesday?
Yeah, good morning. Here's why I am here. I am here because I believe that people can make more money in less time with more magic when they do good. When you do good, when you help other people unlock their money, time, and magic, then great things happen. It's magical. We connect and we're supporting people. I think one of the greatest levels of human suffering that exists, if you look at dynamics in people's lives, is scarcity. Tony Robbins says that lack does not create the highest functioning of human behavior. So I think as we create abundance for people in terms of how they feel about themselves, how they feel about other people, time freedom, and even financial abundance, and even supporting people in how to think about financial abundance, right? Is it just about the next thing? Is it about a yacht? Is it about a jet plane? And maybe, like, there's nothing wrong with those things. But to me, my belief structure is that finding what that all means for you on Why Wednesday and why you're doing things is wonderfully important. I have people that work at Callagy Law that their desire is to be done at 5 o'clock and enjoy their life. And I've lived that way. And it's amazing. And it's beautiful. And so it has trade-offs, right? And one of, I think, the key things that I want to bring forward on this Why Wednesday is you think about all of these dynamics of why and choices and sacrifice, is to ensure that you realize that sometimes we're making ill-informed choices. So some people, like I did, and I was going to make an ill-informed choice. I was going to quit that dream job I got as an attorney back in 1997. I was going to quit and become a high school baseball and football coach and teacher because I believed I had to make a choice between money and impacting lives. I thought it was a choice. Like money, impacting lives, and being happy, like, were two different things. And when I was first introduced to some of the world of personal development, and I read Awaken the Giant Within, I realized that was a false choice. And so I was able to align my why with some short-run lifestyle choices that were crazy. The first year of me building my own world legally was exhausting. And if you feel like quitting, you're not alone, because I felt like quitting this morning. Like, it shot through my nervous system, like, hey, why am I doing this? Like, that shot through my mind for a second. And I'm like, oh, that's funny, like deceiver. Like, oh yeah, your nervous system's like lying to you. Like, oh, that's interesting. How cool is that? How interesting is that? Right? Because I understand how my mind and nervous system works, that it deceives us. Right? So I felt like, to be clear, I felt like quitting every single day, often throughout the day, when I was creating my first law firm originally, law offices of Sean Callagy. And now, if you've had the blessing of building something successful, like, wow, I never felt that way. Wow, then I'm super happy for you. That's an amazing blessing, right? I didn't feel that way. And in fact, I felt like running away and doing something different because I just felt like I was so outside of my comfort zone, because I was so outside of the world of selling. I was so outside of wanting to talk to people about money because I had sort of gleaned that people who made money were not good people. So I had like approach avoidance issues from money. I had discomfort, fear of rejection and judgment and blame from people. I had this like, oh my God, my life is now not in balance. And, you know, I can't do all the things I want to do every day and have fun in the life I want. And I'm like, I'm changing. This isn't who I want to be. And they were all lies because it was exactly who I wanted to be. I wanted to be able to become somebody that created abundance for my family. I wanted to be somebody who could say yes to taking my grandmother and my entire family to Grand Cayman to thank my grandmother for everything she'd ever done for me. And to like see her go into the Caribbean in her wheelchair. Like I wanted that memory to create that with and for my family, you know? And in the beginning, I couldn't even envision those things. I just wanted to have the ability to have a home. And I want to be able to maintain a standard of living that was what I perceived to be just like somewhat reasonable, to be able to go on vacation and take my kids. You know, I wanted my kids to be able to go scuba diving and go to a place like Grand Cayman. So these were the original drivers that was like in this massive fight inside of me. But here's the key on this Why Wednesday. The key is this. There is no thing that will help you there's no benefit that will help you get over your fear of failure and rejection, your fear that you're wasting your time doing what you're doing. There's no thing big enough. Not a plane, not a boat, not even your legacy, right? Not even your legacy, not even a house, not even associating the benefit of being in a house, like a beach house with your family. What will help you overcome it, I am certain, is the fear and the pain of not having it and having lost it. Like having had the vision of it and the awareness of it, and then not followed through and being, and this is something Tony Robbins does in a Dickens pattern, which is brilliant, of getting to a place someday when you're on your last day on earth, maybe when you're in your elder years and you're no longer, you've given up on that dream, and remembering the choices you made out of fear and what you lost and could have obtained, all the magical moments you could have created for yourself and the people that you love, but you made a different choice. And so for me, when I wanted to quit every day, giving up on them, giving up on who I felt I was called to be, and like couldn't become blind again. Once I become unblinded, I didn't use those words then, but that's what had happened. I become aware. I become present too. So when you're in this state of a Why Wednesday of like, should I, like Erica last night brought up somebody she was talking to who's like, I don't want to do all that work in that 10 by 10 thing. That's who I was. So I have total empathy. That's who I was. I went, I read a book, and I do tell the story in detail sometimes. Sometimes I just tell it fast. It was like boom and boom and boom and boom. Like in between the boom and booms, there was pain and fear and speaking engagements where nothing happened. And people who said they would do one thing and didn't do it. Like there was so much heartbreak and disappointment people that tried to steal relationship capital, people that tried to, steal a paycheck and not do what they said they were going to do. Outside marketing vendors that took my money and never followed through on what they promised. Advertising companies that we paid to advertise and promised that there'd be results and nothing happened. I mean, I have hundreds of stories of those things that didn't work out. So when Erica says this person says that, like, I get it. I empathize. They're right to be like, I don't want to invest time and energy into something because they've been hurt and burned so many times. So I get it, right? But the key for us in our why, because all Why Wednesday is about is self-mastery. And all self-mastery is about is how you get yourself to take action, zone action, not randomized action, how you're consistently evaluating what is zone action today. What are we counting, right? That's what self-mastery is about. Like, what action steps are we taking today to actualize our process mastery, utilizing our influence mastery? That's all it is. So this is Why Wednesday, the takeaway is to think about those things that matter to you, to have written down your why, to review your why every day, to innovate that why. I've shared mine is because I believe someday I'll meet God and I'm going to be accountable for my talents. And the question is going to be, did I bury them? Did I squander them? Or did I exponentially expand them to make the world a greater place? To shed more light, to give people more, right? Like, that matters. And the only way for me to get there is by helping other people where they are on their journey get more of those things for themselves, the things they want and believe in, right? And if we're transactionally trading dollars, like, that's not what people really want. We do want dollars. We do want to grow, like we're in capitalist structure. But if that's all we're trading, then we have nothing. And our way to, like, see our way through that and work our way through integrity-based influence through those types of relationships, to get to the relationships we need to have in our life, starts with our self-mastery. Because the reason most of us don't take action, the reason I don't take action where I should, and still present for me, I'm not at all, I couldn't be further from perfect. We're all far from perfect. But the reason I didn't back in 1997 or in 1987 in high school, before I understood there was a formula, and the same for you from your childhood to your teen years through to today, when you're taking action, you're in self-mastery. When you're not, you're out. That's it. And remember, the two fundamental key fears are failure and rejection. And all failure is a fear that the time you're investing isn't going to be worth it. That's it. The time you're investing isn't going to be worth it. And rejection is just like, people make fun of you, people say you're wrong, And by the way, you should get really excited and ready for people to tell you that you're wrong. And maybe you've been experiencing your whole life. It hasn't stopped for me. And one of the most unbelievable ironies to me is that even inside Callagy, which I love, and I'm so grateful, in the people who are literally existing and supporting their family within the structure and the dreams that I was once laughed at for having. Like, so they're literally like, they live in the ecosystem that I created, that I was once laughed at. Like, and I co-created with amazing people, but it was my vision, right? And it was my action steps, and then other people's action steps along the way. But they're literally living in the ecosystem that I created. And they're like, well, I don't know what you're talking about this thing. I think that's a little bit crazy. And they're literally parroting the very same words that the people who came before them, they're not part of the ecosystem now, because they were limited by their own fear of failure or rejection and didn't come along for that journey. So the succinct point there is, have empathy. Have empathy for the people that are with you and around you that don't understand your vision and what you're doing. Give them the opportunity to be educated on it. Have boundaries. Move on when there's not alignment. And work together with the people who understand and see and are aligned with your self process, and influence mastery. Like that's all it's about. So, Fernando, any questions in the chat? Any thoughts? What's up?
So a few things, a couple acknowledgements, and then we can, transition to add to what you're saying, the importance of why, the understanding. I remember reading a book once about a gentleman who worked at a nursing home, and he interviewed hundreds of people in their final days. And, what you shared, which is like that regret of not stepping into your greatness, was the number one conversation that people on their deathbed would have. The Dickens process made that available. And as I've studied Stoicism, they have a saying called memento mori, which is the contemplation of your death, which they used to practice every day. Seneca did it every single day. So maybe if contemplating your death doesn't sound as attractive as contemplating your why, I want to create the prism that they are, the one and the same. Number two, I want to just honor a few people that are here. We have the B Fox dropping emojis back on the chat, creating massive energy. Besides the fact that he's texting me that he was abducted by aliens a month ago. I'm so happy that you're here, brother. I love your energy. That's B Fox, everyone. I'm so happy you're here. And I'd also like to take a second to acknowledge Steve G. As you mentioned, Sean, people telling you are wrong. Yesterday, I had a beautiful conversation with Steve G, and I'll share some context where what I've realized is that the speed of executive decision-making time is not an excuse for lacking integrity. And I lacked integrity in a commitment to Steve, and he confronted me about it. And I was so grateful that he did, because some of my best friends that I've ever had started with like a brawl in the back of the schoolyard with some bloody lips. And we ended up being the best of friends because we were able to confront each other. And I remember reading a quote that really sums up, this feeling, is that I do not judge a man or woman by how many times they fall. I judge them by how many times they get back up. And Steve, you checked me. You checked my integrity. You checked my word. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so honored that you're in our 100, that you were drafted by Kay and Shy, and that you stood for truth when I didn't. Even though it was unintentional, I lacked truth, and you clarified it for me. So brother, I thank you. I honor you. And I'm so grateful that you had the power to confront in Zeus energy with love and boundaries. Because Zeus energy and confrontation does not mean argument, fight. It means like, let's stand for what is true. And that's what happened. And I wouldn't have remembered and had that feeling if it wasn't for you checking me on my integrity, Steve. So thank you for being a true leader among leaders. Yeah. And final, say again, Sean?
And Fernando, thank you first for the check-in on contemplating our death. That's a beautiful access point. And it's, sometimes confronting pain and what's truly at stake, is the great motivator. So number one. Number two, thank you for your vulnerability and stepping in that way. And thank you, Steve, for checking on that. And thank you for everybody who checks on us. And B Fox did some checking in on me and us recently, and I was deeply honored and thankful for that. So, as we support the blindness community and we remain accountable to that journey. And so I'm very thankful for that, Ben. But Fernando, please continue.
Yes, sir. So I just want to let everyone know we do have a real raw today. I'm excited to meet these people myself, actually. Yesterday was a lot of fun with what was happening. Remember, we don't recommend being at all of them. If you can make it, great. It's a beautiful display of the formula and an opportunity for you to see why it's the number one marketing hack on the planet, period. For all of you that are still wondering and have no idea what I just said, please tune in. For everyone else, please continue to leverage. We have Shannon Alvarez. I'm going to briefly read her bio. I don't have it broken up into points. She's a CEO of 3 companies and a nonprofit for trauma survivors. She's an absolute rock star. She's ran NASDAQ publicly traded companies as COO. She's raised revenue by 1,400%, and the list goes on and on and on. We have Jasmine Mankey. She's an international speaker, certified professional coach, energy leadership master practitioner, and founder of the Confident Boss Academy. And she's an expert, and I love this, in helping women build 6-figure online coaching businesses. So I'm super excited for Jasmine and Shannon. It's not only goddess because they're female. I am not confused. There'll be a lot of Zeus energy there, and that's happening today at 3 o'clock. Back to you, Sean, for final.
So super thankful for Shannon and Jasmine. I'm excited to get to know Shannon more. Jasmine, I've had the privilege to travel the world with as a part of the Tony Robbins Platinum Partnership. And her amazing mother have some of the most present, loving energy and goddess imaginable. And Jasmine can drop into Zeus and decision-making and clarity and directness and integrity with the best of them. So excited to have Jasmine there, and not revealing any trade secrets because it was said publicly by Eli yesterday. It's pretty cool to be sitting there with Eli, who said he was just recently role-playing with Tony Robbins in his influence dynamics. And to have Eli on The Real Raw, and he was, role-playing with Mr. Robbins, have Eli talking about having lived with Scott Humphrey, who runs Platinum Partnership, and, him sharing some beautiful access points about what Scott shared about me. And like, this is what it looks like. Like, this is what it looks like with influencers and influencing influencers to merge ecosystems to make the world a greater place. And Eli's like, his humility was remarkable, because he's like, hey, Sean, like, I'd love to send you my stuff and have you rip it apart. Like, analyze it, challenge it, go through it, and it's just exciting. Like, this is what we're doing here, guys. And thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for making it possible. Thank you for being one of those influencers making the world a greater place. So this Why Wednesday, final check-in is like, where are you in your relationship to your why? And what's at stake for you every day when you feel like quitting, when you feel like succumbing? Like, what is it that you laugh at that impulse when it comes up, because you just like study it as like a silly part of your nervous system, and realize the tidal wave of what will be lost for you is a tidal wave in comparison to that ripple. Have a beautiful Why Wednesday. Talk to you in a little bit. Thanks.
Now it's time to break through and crush fear and distortion. What is the one zone action step that will help you most today to make more money in less time and with more magic, and contribute value to the unblinded ecosystem? After you crush it, then head over to our private Facebook community at www.unblindedmovement.com to share your big win for the day. If you feel great about the Unblinded Huddle, please share your win for today and any questions you may have for us, along with a 5-star review, so we can reach more like-minded people like you. And if you have not already subscribed, please visit www.unblindedhuddle.com to be part of our live ecosystem audience for each morning huddle, so that we can help you see what you don't see about the fun, excitement, and magic of exponentially growing your sales.